Live at Dances with Films Film Festival. So what time is?
So we shot half of it here in Los Angeles, and we shot the other half in London. And it's about a man. The premise of the series is about eccentric people who have all these offbeat ideas throughout history. And the pilot episode focuses on a man who opened a coffee shop in London in the 1700s. Only there was a twist. In order to get coffee, you had to speak Latin inside this coffee shop. And if you didn't speak Latin, they wouldn't give you any coffee.
Isn't that discrimination?
Well, you have to take it up with them. Everybody who would be guilty of that has been dead for 400 years. So technically, yes. But you'll be happy to know this discriminatory bastard, he went out of business a couple of years later because nobody...
Where did it end up?
Yeah, well, you have to watch the pilot to find that out.
True that.
Yeah, but so that's the basic idea, is that we found this out, we did a little comic sketch about it, and then over in London they found out where this coffee shop actually was, and they sit down with an historian who gives context, and they interview about what happened to him and how it worked. And there's so many stories like that peppered throughout history of all these eccentric people that have these wild ideas that are just fascinating and fun.
And how did you come up with the story? Is this something that you read in a history book, or how were you introduced to this world?
Well, there's a famous painter named William Hogarth who used to paint during the 1700s in England, and he had a little bit of satirical mind, and so I always enjoyed his paintings and his etchings. And I was reading a book about him once, and it just said his father ran a Latin-speaking coffee shop, and that's all it said. I couldn't find anything else out about it.
And then that sparked the idea.
Exactly.
And then you created it.
Yeah, we created the sketch, and then we met these two other gentlemen in London. Paul and James Longley are their names. We kept getting to the same film festivals as they did, and we got along. One of the great things about film festivals is you...
Mind we scoot in so that he
Sure.
can chop down. Yeah, let's
Oh,
get you in there.
one of-
That's much
Where's my
better.
light? I'm looking for my light.
All over.
you give off a halo. No, one of the great things about going to these film festivals is meeting who your future collaborators will be. They liked the idea, and they found out where the coffee shop was, and so it all fell into place, and it's just been a terrific experience to work on them. And there's so many other ideas that we'll explore going forward in the series.
And what about your role in the project?
I'm also a co-creator of our World Twistories show as well. Yeah.
So you guys did a lot of Zoom meetings, or do you guys live in the same general area?
Brian and I both live here in Los Angeles, and our other two co-collaborators live in London. But you're right, we did do a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of, even when we were cutting the movie together, a lot of taking the files and moving them by internet, going forth, doing something here, and then they'd correct something there, and we'd correct something, and just updating that way.
So you're constantly working with the editors while you're creating your
We
film.
are the editors.
Yeah, we do everything ourselves. We're
I
very
see.
indie.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And who are your actors in the project?
In this pilot were two main actors named Whit Spurgeon and Christopher Hatfield, and then there was a third actor who had the thankless role of providing a lot of atmosphere, his name Bill Pryor. And we were really, really lucky to get these guys because they are indie legends of a sort in Los Angeles. Everybody who works in the indie space knows these guys, or they want to know these guys.
They're fantastic actors.
Yeah.
And on the UK side, Paul Longley is our host. He's very charismatic. He's a TikTok star now.
TikTok
And
star.
we also had...
Mr. Paul Longley on TikTok.
Okay, I
if
have
you're-
to look him up.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we also had Abigail, who was...
Abigail Cornick was our on-air contributor. So she's an historian who works at the museum where the coffee shop actually was. That coffee shop was based in a medieval priory that is thousands of years old. And then, I won't go through all the history, but when England was no longer Catholic, they dissolved the monasteries and they took all the property from the Catholic Church. And so that particular building was rented out for other things for centuries, and one of them was this Latin-speaking coffee shop.
And I can tell that you're really into history and digging deep into the story to create your world for your characters. Now, did you have any writer's block during the creation of this project? And if you did, what did you do to, overcome these writer's block?
No, I didn't actually, to be honest with you. It came pretty quickly, not for this project. I think in general, when you have writer's block on other things I've done, you just push through. You just tell yourself, I'm going to give myself a quota of how many pages to write every day.
And give yourself an incentive afterwards, right?
Well, it depends. I do a little too much incentivizing. I really need to cut down. That's why, out here in LA, I'm like the ugliest guy in the room. So.
I would say that. You're so cute.
No. See, I just fish for compliments.
You're like a potato, that you want
See,
to
exactly.
comb the potato.
I'm a potato. I'm a potato.
Idaho potato.
Yeah, in Idaho, maybe I'm good looking, but no offense to the Idahoans. I've never been to Idaho, but I hear it's beautiful. I hope that the people of Idaho don't look at me and say, "Oh, look, that guy looks like a potato."
In Idaho, you're a 10.
Anyway,
You guys are besties, right?
Sure, absolutely.
So tell me, where can viewers see the trailer and know more about your work, socials and things that?
sure. We're on Twitter at Fancy Movies. Our website is fancymovies818.com. We are also on Instagram at Fancy Movies, though I think we got hacked. So I don't remember what the
People are spamming under
Yeah.
your
Well,
hash.
I don't know about that. I do look at. I can access the account, and nothing horrific seems to be going out under it. But I think whatever I've posted there, you can still find our information. But I would do the website fancymovies818.com or at Twitter Fancy Movies at Fancy Movies.
And are you gonna turn this short film into a feature?
No, it's a series. So we're
That's
out here.
right. That's a series. That's a
Yeah.
pilot. So then you guys are pitching it to become
Correct.
a series.
Correct. There are so many dozens of other ideas that we've got and treatments and scripts that we've got ready to go. So we're looking for the right partners that we can get this made here or in the UK or someplace else, because there's a great market, I think, for it throughout the world.
And if you don't mind me asking, what is the process of pitching your pilot? Like, how do you get it in front of the executives of studios to say, oh, we want this on Hulu, or we want this on Amazon, or,
Well, first step for us is just finding who to pitch to, and so that comes with coming with festivals, meeting as many people as we can, collaborating with as many people whose work you respect and whose vibe you gel with, because they bring ideas and connections into it. And then, frankly, I just cold email. I send cold emails. I try to go through representatives. It's so much just tedious work. That's the reality.
Work of a producer.
Exactly.
He stands at Hollywood and Vine too, shirtless generally, walking Runyon Canyon.
Well, I'm not shirtless because I look like a potato, but I'll give out French fries.
You have a monitor of your trailer running in the background.
Indeed.
I created the show right here.
No, but the point I would make is that there's a lot. It's like an iceberg. You see the tip of the stuff that everybody sees, but below that is all the tedium, all the discipline, all the stuff you just have to get up and say, you know what? It's like your question about writer's block. Okay, I have to just send, let's say, if I can send 20 emails today, that's a good day. And even if I don't get a response from anybody, well, then I do another 20 tomorrow or another 20 after that. And eventually, I will go and have coffee with somebody. I will try to meet somebody. And, you just have to go through it one connection at a time. That's the way it works.
One day at a time.
Yeah, one person at a time.
Right. That's what I'm learning too.
Yeah.